Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Affiliate ABCs. I'm your host, Deborah Carney, here with my co-host,
Vinny O'Hare.
And today we have a special guest, super affiliate James Martell. Hi, James. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem. When someone like you wants to share information with affiliates, we're all ears because we know that you've been doing this successfully for many years. And even though some may think that you're one of the guru types, you're actually a very down-home, this is how you do it, and no bullshit, and change. You've been one of the people that hasn't just like thrown out an ebook or does product launches where things are only available for 7 days, buy now or never get them again. And you actually, change your tactics as the market changes and as the industry changes. So we're thrilled that you want to do a series of podcasts with us. So today's topic is one near and dear to James's heart, and I'm trying to take on more of this, and so is Vinny, actually. A lot of webmasters and affiliates think they have to do everything themselves. And you quickly find out that you can't. You just can't do it all yourself. So, James, you're really good at outsourcing. Why don't you explain what outsourcing is and what are some things that people might want to consider, right from the very beginning, outsourcing?
Outsourcing is basically a very simple idea, and most people are already doing it. And it could be something as simple as getting your dry cleaning done. Or
that's a perfect example.
I took the car in a couple weeks ago to get the oil changed. Could I do it myself? Sure. Could I pull the tools out and jack the car up? Yep, I even have some tools and a jack. Do I want to do it myself? No. So I drive down to the local oil change facility, drive in, they give me a coffee, a newspaper, I read the paper, talk on the phone, and they change the oil. So essentially that's outsourcing. And I kind of took to it very easily because prior to getting involved in the industry, I was a carpenter by trade, and I was a general contractor. Mm-hmm. End up becoming a general contractor where you're hiring sub-trades, whether you need an electrician, a plumber, somebody to install a heating and ventilation system, lay the carpet, build and install the cabinets, whatever it is. You outsource all of that in the trades industry. So the online world nowadays is no different. I remember getting started back in 99. It wasn't quite like that because there wasn't a talent pool to draw from. You remember that? It was like,
yeah, there were like 200 of us that knew what we were doing, and no one else did.
That's right. And to find a writer, they were still in the areas where they wanted $200 for an article.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you wanted to get some audio work done, you create a little audio of some sort. It was like $100 an hour to work with these guys. So that opportunity really wasn't there. So I ended up doing so much of the work myself. So outsourcing actually really can change a person's business completely, because instead of actually doing the work yourself, you can get somebody else to do it all for you, usually a lot less money than that you would think it would cost. And in many cases, they will do a much better job at it because it's their profession. It's just no different than going back to the trades. I could probably learn how to do some basic plumbing. Don't want to, don't have the tools for it, so why don't I just open in the old days, the yellow pages, and find a plumber?
Right.
Same thing online.
The same as online, because if you do it yourself and you screw it up, it's going to take more of your time to fix it.
He said yellow pages.
He said yellow pages.
Remember those? I actually had 2 yellow page books on my porch that they dropped off a couple months ago. I was so amazed that they're still doing that I actually had to take a picture of it.
I actually read in the paper a few weeks ago, there's actually towns that are passing laws against people just being able to drop phone books off at your door.
Yeah, because it's a lot of printing and tree killing that's not needed, and then it ends up just filling up the landfills because nobody uses them anymore.
We should make this into a drinking game every time somebody mentions either MySpace or the Yellow Pages.
Drink five. Brings me back to my teens.
That's hysterical. But it comes back to also, what is the value of your time worth? So, like you said, you can certainly learn how to do it. Is it worth your while to learn how to do it? Maybe basics it's worth your time to do, but not how to put in a whole sink and, put the pipes throughout the house and all the rest of the stuff. So if you value your time, if you have a lot of time available and you want to learn how to do everything, that's great. But along the way, you'll probably find that there are things you don't really want to do anymore. There are people who don't want to touch HTML, don't want to touch PHP. There's others that'll dive into it happily. And you're better off finding one of those people that'll dive into it happily and pay them for their experience and their expertise and utilize your time better. You can manage your time better doing what you do best, which is marketing your website or finding the affiliate relationships and finding the products. And instead of you building a data feed importer, use one from somebody else, and it's worthwhile to spend 50 or $100 on a script that'll do it for you.
Exactly. I follow a couple little rules. Number one, do what you do best, as you just said, and outsource the rest. I live by that. Mm-hmm. People wonder what I do for a living. I outsource. 90+% of my time is spent in Elance, outsourcing projects. 90%. The other one that I live by, if I'm working on something, it's my 15-minute rule. If I can't fix something or take care of a problem or something that I want done personally within 15 minutes, I take the next 15 minutes and I post a project. And what this does, to get somebody else to do it, and what this does is it allows you to go back to doing what you do best and outsourcing the rest, because I see far too many people spend an entire day or work all night or spend an entire week trying to solve a little problem with their website where they've wasted hours and hours and hours, and they could have posted a project at vworker.com, probably get somebody to fix it for $10. And I see this all the time. And it's just, don't waste your time trying to fix little issues online. You won't make any money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's like, I'm guilty. I have a ZenCart site. I need to make it so that guest purchases are allowed and that you don't have to create a login to be able to purchase from the site. And I need to just hire somebody to just do it, because I tried it a couple times, can't get it to work. I shouldn't be doing it. I should be giving it. Now? Yeah. And I should just, bite the bullet, spend $20, let somebody fix it, and be done.
Let me share, if I may, maybe you could walk me through, but let me share with you 10 tips that I've come up with.
Ooh, I like this.
And these are hard-won tips. I've outsourced well over 400 projects through Elance alone, and many dozens through vWorkers, and I've been outsourcing even before Elance was around. And these tips can really settle a person down, get them organized on putting a project like the one you just talked about together, posting the project, finding the right person, getting it done at the right price, and getting the little niggly things that we all have in our businesses, not only offer plate, but offer plate onto somebody else's plate and done, so we can move on with the other items that we can be working on that are more monetary to us.
I love this.
So one of the things that I've seen, and I do a course on outsourcing, and I've seen this mistake make right off the bat, and it's a knee-jerk reaction. So it's basically tip number one is don't assume it's going to be too expensive and you can't afford it, because more times than not, if you take the time to post a project, you'll be stunned and amazed at what people will come in and happily take care of that task item for you.
Okay.
Number two, if you want to get the work done and you want to have it done correctly, number two is provide a clear description of exactly what you want. And this is where so many people stumble, because they end up posting a project about maybe an article written or some technical work done, or maybe a little piece of software written and designed, but they don't have any real clarity on what they want. So they end up posting a really vague kind of project. Maybe it's an article. Maybe you're looking for an article about, guest blogging. And instead of thinking it through yourself, what you want included in the article, you want a great headline of this style, you want subheadlines, you want bulleted text, you want keywords used in this way, here's the storyline you want threaded through it. All the details that you would pour into a decent job descriptive, what I would call a work order for a writer to bid on.
Oh.
You end up posting something that says, you know what, I need a 700-word article about outsourcing. Post it, and then they'll come in a bid on it, but you're not going to get back what you want because you really didn't clearly know even yourself what you wanted. So the biggest thing you need to do up front is, in your particular case, Deborah, you'd sit down and say, okay, here's the site, here's what I want done, here's what I want it to look like when it's finished, here's the things I know about it. Give them as much information as you can so when they come in a bid on it, they've got everything right in front of them.
That's excellent. And you said work order, which again goes back to your construction, being a contractor. You have to lay out everything that needs to be done. And that gives you a leg up on people who, just like you said, they say, oh, I want an article on, how to take care of cats. Okay,
You'll end up with, this is a cat. This is the way I pet the cat.
That's right. And there's no storyline in there. There's no people's names being mentioned. There's no substance to it at all.
Right. And like for me, someone might just say, my Zen card is broke, fix it. But me, I want the SEO plugin to work with the, fast and easy checkout plugin. And, by outlining it step by step, then I will get appropriate people making the bids on it, and then I can decide. Obviously on all these places they have rankings on people, and you can tell if they have happy customers.
Exactly, and that's something you want to do, and that's a good point. So once you've clearly sat down and thought through what you want, and this is really where the expertise comes in, is you have to, if you've never done it before, you actually have to know what the end of the project's going to look like, what that article is going to be looking like when it comes back to you, or what that piece of software is going to do when it's finished. And you need to articulate this up front to the people that are coming in and bidding on it if you ever have any hope at all of getting what you want. And once you do that, you'll find that you can really pour a lot of detail onto a page. And I don't get fancy with it. I just do bullets. Let's say I was doing an article about guest blogging. I would just say, I would share all the little anecdotes and little stories that I'd like included in the article, any little tips that I had, maybe an event where I chatted about whatever, all of it all of the little nuances that your writer would have no way of knowing unless you provide that to them.
Okay. That's an excellent point. I like that.
So once you understand what you want and you post it, next thing what I recommend is tip number 3 is to set deadlines for its completion and use the milestones and escrow at Elance. So and you can use VWorker, you can use Elance. There's a lot of them. My preference is to Elance just because I kind of grew up with them. But in the Elance system, you can say, let's say it's a project. Let's say there's a series of articles you want to have written. You want one a week for 2 months. Little bit of a long-term project, and you outline, okay, every week I want an article that's going to be 700 words in length, and you just put that into the milestone. When you're finished it, I'm going to pay you $30. Next week, following that, another article, date it, another $30, whatever the price happens to be. It could be $20 depending on the type of article. But one of the things that people don't know, we say use the escrow and the milestones. Up front, you want to make sure, and this is where people make the biggest mistake at Elance, is you need to pay the service provider something initially, even if it's $10 to initiate the project. You can do it without it, but by paying them something up front, what it allows you to do, it activates the feedback system within Elance. So if you have a writer that decides to disappear on you and you haven't paid him anything, you've got no recourse. You can't leave him negative feedback. But if you pay them something, now the little feedback button appears, and now if they disappear, you can say, you know what, I hired this person and for some reason they vanished into the ether and I haven't heard from them since. Negative feedback. So this keeps them on their toes. So tip number 3 is use the milestones and definitely be sure to fund that escrow.
Okay, I like that. I would have never thought of that.
Tip number 4 would be to, as you said, evaluate their feedback. Go through their feedback in detail. See the types of projects they've done in the past. Have a look at what other purchasers have said about the work that they had done for them earlier. So Elance gives you all kinds of tools within the system to really get to know the person that you're about to hire by giving you all the feedback that has been given by other buyers earlier. So take your time in there. Sometimes you'll post a project, you'll get 20 people come in and bid on it. And it takes some time to kind of weed through them all. But I think you'll find if you look at their feedback, you'll be able to find the person that you're looking for.
Okay, cool. Tip
number 5, haggle on the price. This is an Arleneism, my wife, for sure. She'll do this anytime, is if the price comes in at a little bit more than she wants to pay, and I'll do it from time to time, ask them if they can sharpen their pencil a little bit. We do this in construction, or did this in construction all the time. Get them to, see if you can maybe massage the job a little bit. Maybe you can trim it down a little bit. But if you find the guy you like, or the gal you like, and it's a little bit more than you were planning on paying, don't just move on to somebody else. Maybe send them a little message. Elance gives a great little messaging system internally in the software there that you can communicate well. So pop them off a message. Say, you know what, I've looked at your feedback. You seem like the perfect person for me. My budget isn't quite there. Here's what I can afford to pay. Is there any way we can maybe get a little bit better price? And a lot of times you'll find that they'll say, hey, sure, no problem. Let's drop it down a bit.
Yeah, Vinny has a little experience with the writer that he
Yeah, one of the first writers that I hired off Elance, I forget what the job was. It was like, it came in at like $10 an article or something like that. And I ended up haggling with them and got them down to, I think it was $7. Something like that.
But then you found somebody that was really good.
But yeah, and it was $7. I must have used her about 2 years probably. So it worked out good.
Yeah, and if you wouldn't ask, it probably would never happen.
And she wouldn't have been long term either. It would have just continued with that one job and be done, and that was it. So it was a good thing.
So tip number 6 is answer the messages quickly. So if a service provider is working for you on your behalf and they send you a little message that they need a question answered or they need something clarified, then it's important that we get back to them. One of the first things I make sure I do in my business, I can easily just get to work. And I could have 6 freelancers out there sitting idle because they all have a question. It could be a simple little thing that they just need a little clarity on, but it's holding them up. And if I take 2 days to get back to them, I just delayed the project by 2 days. So one of the first things that I always do in my day is log into my Elance system and see if anybody has any questions and answer the questions, just to make sure that the people that are working for me, are working.
Now, do they send you emails or do you have to log into the system?
No, I do everything through the Elance system.
Okay.
It gives me a record. All the messages are tagged to the particular project, including attachments, and all of the communication back and forth becomes part of the record that for that project.
I think Elance sends an email, right, saying that you got a new message?
Yeah, Elance sends one out for them, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering, just so that I know that there's something sitting there waiting for me to go check on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and many of the writers, they carry BlackBerries or iPhones, and they answer right back wherever they happen to be. They understand the importance of good communications, the good ones.
Okay.
Number 7, pay quickly. Of course, we all like to get paid for the work that we're doing. And one thing to take special note of, yes, we could leave feedback for the writers and the other service providers within the system, but they can also leave feedback for us.
Right. So if you're a non-payer, you're going to get a little red flag next to your name and no one's going to bid on you.
That's right, and or they'll bid. It's going to cost you a little bit more because they know you're a bit of a problem, or maybe you pay slowly, maybe you don't answer messages quickly, maybe your project descriptions are vague, so the project didn't go so well. So they're not very happy because they couldn't quite deliver what they wanted. You probably let them know in their feedback that was the case, and that'll have a tendency to boomerang back on you. So make sure things like paying them quickly, communicating well with them. It's just good business. So just kind of pay attention to that.
Okay.
Tip number 8 is conduct all your business within the system, because if you do run into problems, all of that communication is there to look at. And it's rare that I run into problems. Once in a while, maybe once in 100 projects, you'll have a little issue of some sort. If you're clear and you communicate well up front, you pay quickly, everything usually runs very smoothly. But you want everything in the system. And the other thing that they'll try to do, some of them, not very often, but once in a while, they say, you know what, hey, why don't you work with me on the side? Just pay me through Elance, and we'll get out of the Elance system here, because they have to pay Elance a service fee. We don't have to pay it, but they have to pay Elance for every project a little percentage of the work that they do. The problem with moving out of the system, instantly you lose the milestones, you lose protection of the feedback system, and you lose the protection of the escrow system. And you've got no levers anymore, because you can't leave the feedback, and you've basically just neutered yourself, for lack of a better word, because
we don't like that.
No, that's bad. That's a bad thing. So stay in the system.
All right, and the system is proven to work for you, and like you said, it gives you a complete audit trail. So if anything comes up down the line, someone tries to claim that you didn't pay, you can say, look, here's where it went out.
That's right.
So
Everything.
Elance. So
number 9, and I know you do this well, Vinny, as you said, build relationships. We're not looking for one-hit wonders. I don't look for writers who are going to write a couple of articles for me and never to see them again, or coders. I have a software project we're working on right now, and it's the same guy I used for the last one. Anytime we need WordPress work done, I have a guy that I call on all the time. So as you're posting your projects and you're getting to know your service providers and you're finding the good ones, make sure you keep a note of them for the next time. So when you go in and post a new project, you can invite them to come in and bid on it, and then, or you can just set up a project just for them in the system.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Together, because there's a whole workroom area in the Elance system that allows everything to stay in one place, keep it nice and simple, neat and tidy. And I mean, I can log into my system here, look at all the projects that I've got underway, click on the workroom for each project. There's my service provider to the right. There's their name. There's their contact information. Here's the project description. Here's the milestones. Everything's laid out nice and simple for you, so you never really get lost within the system. So build a team. That's what I like to say. Form relationships. Build relationships. Build a team. You need a graphics person. Find one that you like that you can call on. You need a writer or two. You need a tech person. You need some help desk support. You need whatever. Audio production, video production. I have the same people I go back to over and over and over again, and I look at them as my team members.
Nice. I like that.
And then the final tip, we kind of alluded to it earlier, is build your own feedback. Because you're leaving feedback for them, they're going to be leaving feedback for you. The better the feedback you have, the more people will bid on your projects, the less they want to charge you, because they really want your work because they know upfront that you're easy to work with, and that you pay quickly, you communicate well, and you have clear project descriptions and expectations laid out in advance, and that will all help you to build your feedback. And always ask for feedback once the project's done. I always say, hey, I just left you a feedback rating of 4.9 and the following description of the work you did. I really appreciate you. And by the way, please don't forget to leave me some feedback as well, because the feedback is your gold in the system. It's your report card. So make sure you not only give it, but ask for it as well.
Well, and there's a lot of other sites that leverage feedback nowadays, like, Etsy and eBay. Your feedback is, like you said, it's your channel to the world that tells the world that you're you're good at hiring, and you're prompt to pay, you're easy to work with, or that you're a problem.
The better the feedback you have, the better writers you're going to end up having looking at your projects too. So
yep.
It works.
I'll bet there's probably writers that don't even look at projects that don't have any feedback, or that won't touch a new project until someone else has done it first.
That's where the escrow comes into play, though, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Having money in escrow is a great idea.
Just a few ideas on some of the things that we've outsourced, and I say we, my wife and I. Graphics design, header graphics, sales letters, blog posts, upgrading of a website from Drupal to WordPress, research, list of podcasting / radio shows, 3 articles about video email, 8 product reviews, 10 articles on how things work, 4 home improvement / family articles, 2 300-word mini sales letters, production of a series of podcasts, video editing. I mean, it just goes on and on. Anything and everything you could possibly need. You could easily find somebody to do it for you, probably at a lot less money than you think, and I'll bet you'll be very happy if you take these tips to heart.
Yeah, Vinny did a thing today for one of his websites where he didn't do it through Elance, he just happened to find it.
I could have if if that was the case.
Right. Why don't you explain?
But I found a service called Subply, sub as in submarine, ply as in plywood. Back to James's carpenter reference.
Yes.
Subply.com. You go there, you can drop a link to your YouTube video, or you can upload an actual video, and they'll transcribe it. And it for the length of the video, it's $1 a word, a little over $1 a minute, not $1 a word. Oh my God, we'd all be broke. So I uploaded a 5-minute video that I shot, and it came back. I think it cost me $5.82, something like that, and it was almost 1,000 words, and it was perfect. I had to do 2 little changes, but.
And then James,
for me to sit there and type that for 5 minutes, it would have took me 5 years.
Right.
And I would have got it wrong. So,
you would have Brooklynized it.
Yeah, I would have Brooklynized
it. Which isn't always a bad thing. But now, James, you had because you have this entire backlog of radio shows and podcasts, that you started before anybody knew about podcasting, and you went through and had a project where you had someone transcribe all of them, didn't you?
Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. And also our training courses, anytime we do an audio or a video that is, it might be, like you said, Vinny, it might be 5 minutes long, it might be 30 minutes, it might be an hour. If it was a series of videos that we did that were all 2 to 3 minutes in length, I had all of those transcribed as well into a little ebook. So yeah, we outsource a lot of that. We outsource one of the things that I do with our Coffee Talk series of podcasts, and I think this is what you were referring to, is I will send the freshly recorded audio to the same guy that I've been using forever to go ahead, listen to the podcast, and then give me a descriptive article that really outlines to the reader why they should listen to the podcast. So anything and everything we try to outsource. And in fact, a challenge out to everybody. What would your business look like if, let's say, you had no arms and no legs and you had to outsource everything? How would your business look? I bet you'd be a lot further ahead. We have a tendency to want to do this stuff ourselves. And I learned a great lesson reading a little book by a guy named Michael Gerber called the EMyth, the Entrepreneurial Myth, Why Businesses Fail and What You Can Do About it. And he talked about a very interesting stat. He said, 2 of them actually, he said, within 5 years, 80% of the businesses that start today will be out of business. Mm-hmm. He says, to those that made it, don't rest on your laurels, because of the 20% that made it, within the next 5 years, 80% of you are going to be out of business as well. And one of the things that he recommends that we do when starting a business, and this goes completely counter to what I would think naturally, but I believe him and I agree with him now. He says, start a business you know nothing about. I know people are going to jump all over that, but he's right, because it'll force you to hire the people to do the task items that need to be done to make that business a success, because you don't know how to do it. So instead of trying to learn how to do all this stuff, go hire the people that already do know how to do it. And Elance and these services let us do this relatively easily and very inexpensively.
Sounds like the book is about my RiffTag website.
And it's really funny because, everybody, all the gurus, the first thing they say is follow your passion, write about your passion, start a website about something you're passionate about. And one of the most successful affiliate marketers turned merchants that I know hates he's like, I have no passion about personalized gifts. I just, I used to have a mail order business, and now I realized that I could do it online instead, and I could make money with affiliate programs, and I'm not passionate about this at all. I'm just doing it because it makes me money. So.
Well, and that's a good point. And if you do have an area that you want a lot of passion, written about, go hire somebody that's passionate about it.
Yep.
Go hire them. Don't do the work yourself. This is the biggest mistake and the slowest way to go. People jump into this business and they think, well, I got to learn how to set up my hosting. I got to learn how to hire writers. I got to learn I guess I better learn how to install WordPress. I need to learn how to work with images. I need to learn how to shoot video. I need to learn how to edit video. Oh, I should be doing some podcasting. Oh, yes, I guess I better get some backlinks. So it's just like, I can't do all this. And then they stall out. Meanwhile, if they took the approach and let's say you're not going to outsource everything, but you truly are going to do what you do best and outsource the rest.
Yep.
Take all the little things that you like to do, put them in the list. Okay, I'm going to do these. And all the things that you don't want to do, don't like to do, don't want to learn how to do, put them in another list. And that's what you're going to learn how to outsource.
Yep.
And then you kind of work the two off each other, and away you go.
Yep. And with a lot more people using WordPress, they don't realize that they're actually outsourcing when they do something like buy a premium theme or buy a plugin that does something that they can't do themselves. So, and then again, if you don't see a plugin that you need, you go get it created by somebody. You go create a project over at Elance. And, getting back to, affiliates with your own websites, if you don't like your template, you want to make your site look better, you're not a good graphics person, hire somebody to make you a template. You only have to do it once, and then you can create the site and work it yourself. So I think these are all really, really good tips. We're all real life examples. I am the person who hasn't outsourced enough.
If I may, let me offer up a suggestion.
Okay.
My little outsourcing course that we just finished is 5 hours long. It's 5 one-hour videos.
Okay.
It's all transcribed. It's all prettied up. It looks really nice. And it's, if I may say so, it's very good. And one of the things that I offer up in the course in video number 2 and onwards is I actually have a document that I put together. I went through my Elance account because I find a lot of people, one of the places they stumble is they don't quite know how to put together the descriptive text to explain to the service providers what they want.
Okay.
And then they don't know how to organize the little work orders that we've been talking about. So one of the things that I included in my course is 25 of my actual project descriptions for everything,
nice.
Audio production, video, articles, WordPress work, everything that you could probably need in this business. And I put together that in a little booklet with the companion work orders that shows you how to really go about doing this. So I don't even have the course on a site or anything. I got to outsource to get that done. But if anybody's interested in taking a peek at it, you can send an email over to arlene.martel@gmail.com, and Martel's with 2 L's, and I'll get her to send you the first 1 hour video. And It's not a sales piece, it's a pure on training.
Right.
And if you like it and you want to take the rest of the course, then I'll figure out a way to get it to you, and we'll figure out a fair price for it. It's not even on the site. It's part of my boot camp, but we put it together in such a way that anybody, whether it's a merchant, an affiliate, or a brick and mortar business and just needs some help in their businesses getting some things done, this is what the course is all about. And so just arlene.martel@gmail.com, and she'll fire that first video over to you.
That's awesome. I will take her up on that. I will take you up on that. All right. Well, I think this has all been great. If you are listening to us on iTunes, please go to affiliateabcs.com and click on the show and leave us your feedback. Tell us if outsourcing is working for you, what particular problems you're having, if you need some advice on how to do something, and definitely take James up on his offer of getting that 1 hour training video first, because that'll get you on your way. And we're all entrepreneurs. We all think we can do it all ourselves, and we're holding ourselves back by not using outsourcing the way we should. And I love that you started as a contractor, because you're right. That's exactly how you build your business. And there are so many brick and mortar businesses that, they outsource to their accountant, they outsource to their printing company. There's no reason for you to do it all yourself anymore. There are so many online experts. So James, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find our podcasts at jamesmartel.com. And you can learn more about our affiliate marketing bootcamp at affiliatemarketersbootcamp.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/James Martel. And
I highly recommend the bootcamp. I've met several of your students, and I know that it actually is something that really works. And we'll be hearing a lot more about that bootcamp in the near future. Vinny, where can people find you?
You can find me online at vinnyO'Hare.com or Twitter/Vinny O'Hare or LinkedIn/Vinny O'Hare. How's that? I think that's the right URL.
I think it's LinkedIn/in/Vinny O'Hare, something like that. We're not big LinkedIn people.
If you feel like it, go see my cloud score too.
And you can find me online at twitter.com/ Loxley,
all off.
Loxly. He did. He threw me all off. I have my ending all pre-planned, and you can also find our affiliate management site at teamloxley.com, teamloxly.com. So you can find our affiliate programs to join. And as always, we thank Geekcast, GEEKCAST.FM, for hosting all of our wonderful podcasts, and where you can go find other podcasts by James and by Vinny and by myself and by many other people on how to make your affiliate business better and how to just market yourself better. And there's some fun podcasts up there too. So James, once again, thank you very much for being our guest. We look forward to doing more podcasts with you in the future. And thank you for listening, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Loxley. Thanks, Vinny.